video of me talking about Totally Spies, you would think I would have run out of things to say by now. You would be wrong. I've spoken about the origins of Totally Spies. I've spoken about the man who ruined their lives. I've also talked about the next generation of spies. Now I'm talking about these girls' biggest enemy, aka Mandy. In case you don't rewatch 6 seasons of Totally Spies yearly like I do, I will give you a reminder about the show. Totally Spies is a French animated spy series that follows 3 girls, Sam, Clover and Alex. To the general public, they are normal teenage girls that live in Beverly Hills, but out of view, they are WHOOP agents. WHOOP stands for the World Organization of Human Protection, and they go around the world saving people. The show starts with them in freshman year in high school and continues to follow them throughout college. The show started in 2001 and originally ended in 2013 with 6 seasons, and recently had a continuation come out for a 7th season. The show was so popular in its heyday, it had a spin-off and a crossover with another popular show made by the same people. Such an iconic show that is still referenced today.
Oh my gosh! She's bald! She's bald and she's torturing people who have hair!
And it has a new season coming out. It's not surprising that some of the side characters are just as iconic. Mandy is mainly depicted as Clover's arch nemesis, but she does sometimes do stuff to upset Sam and Alex. She attends Beverly Hills High with 3 girls and is determined to ruin their lives. Anything important to the girls, Mandy finds a way to butt in and try and ruin. She is just a normal teenage girl.
Welcome to Bev High, losers!
As mentioned before, Mandy has been with the girls from the beginning of high school to university. She will probably build a mausoleum in the graveyard the spies get buried in just to outdo them in death. She has been a thorn in these girls' sides, so I want to cover some of the most notable episodes that show what a true menace this girl to woman is. Each season of Totally Spies is another year in the girls' lives, so freshman year is season 1 and so forth. Mandy's first appearance was in the episode A Film for Musicians, which is a pilot episode. From the first few seconds on screen, she solidifies herself as a school mean girl and these girls' nemesis, as she foils Clover's plan to go on a date with this guitarist at school.
Damon's already got plans after school. He's going to the mall with yours truly.
Since Mandy is always around Sam, Clover and Alex, it's not shocking that she discovered the spy's secret identity multiple times actually. The first time was in the episode The Eraser. At the start of the episode, Mandy is being her usual obnoxious self and flipping her hair about to show how amazing it is. Then she gets it caught in this clay spinner and Sam saves her. And Mandy decides that Sam is her new best friend and keeps randomly showing up places, almost catching the girl. So they have to make up some elaborate lie to get away from her.
The sick ants. Ew! I hate sick ants. But okay, I can help. Any relative of yours is a relative of mine.
And at the end of the episode, she actually does discover the girl's secret and vows to tell everyone at school. Luckily for the spies, that episode they were hunting down a strange aquatic blob that erased people's memories. So Clover throws it at her head, erases the spy memory and her memory of her friendship with Sam. This was definitely unethical, but who's gonna snitch? Mandy? Whilst Mandy is primarily Clover's rival, she does sometimes go after the other two, either indirectly or directly. In the episode The Black Widows, she goes directly against Sam in the spelling bee. She even admits she does not care about the spelling bee. She just wants to show everyone her superior intellect to go along with her superior look. She's so determined to win, she even hires these 3 specialists to ensure her victory. Mandy trying to be a thorn in the girl's side is not strictly a school thing, because she does try and get Clover arrested in the episode Mauled by framing her as a shoplifter.
I assign you to 2 weeks on the store's cleaning crew.
Cleaning crew?
The next season, season 2, which is her sophomore year, and Mandy kept herself busy in this season. She forms a cult around herself. In the episode Wow, the most she was involved in these girls' life is when she ruined with them for a ski trip. The villain tried to kidnap Clover, but accidentally kidnapped Mandy in the episode Ski Trip.
I am Mandy!
But the red outfit, I thought that...
Well, think again and try not to strain your brain.
Next we have season 3, which is their junior year. In season 3, we have the biggest event yet in Mandy and the girls' joint lives.
It's Clover! Oh, guys! Really, it's not fair that I get the best room.
In the episode Evil Coffee Shop Much, episode starts with Sam and Clover dropping into school with parachutes. While almost everyone is in the building, they get caught by Mandy, and they manage to convince her that they are part of a skydiving club until the compactor goes off and a hologram of a stuck Alex appears, and they just tell Mandy she's behind the times and flee. But Mandy follows them because they were not very convincing. Then they get summoned by WHOOP, even though they literally just finished a mission. This man does not leave children rest. Jerry starts talking about the next mission, and which is to discover why college students in Canada keep going missing, and none of them realize Mandy got in accidentally when they were summoned and heard all of this and jumps out to confront them. Then Jerry praises her for bypassing security, which she did not do. She just happened to be standing right behind them. I'm surprised this does not happen more often. I would never call Jerry a smart man. Anyway, Jerry invites her to be a spy. The others are not happy, understandably. Clover faints.
And a quick wit to boot. How would you like to join our team?
As expected by anyone with sense, Mandy was not a good spy and does not do anything but get in the way. She even turns up to lunch in her spy outfit, screaming about being a spy. Luckily for the girls, the mission was so traumatizing for Mandy because she got her hair dirty and almost drowned in coffee. She voluntarily gets her mind wiped of all the day's events. This is not the first or last time Mandy gets her mind wiped in the show. After discovering the spy secret, she gets her mind wiped at least 10 times. This was the first time it was voluntary. I want to talk about one of the strangest episodes in Mandys Law. The one time I felt sympathy for Mandy. I know, it shocked me too. In the episode Dental, More Like Mental, the episode starts off normally for the girls as they have their usual discussion before school. Then something strange happens. Mandy gets off the bus. Normally, Mandy would not be caught dead on public transportation and normally drive herself or gets driven around. But she claimed to be doing a paper on public transportation. Next, we see her eating homemade lunch, which she normally orders something expensive from the cafeteria. The stranger thing that Mandy did was she was wearing a sweater that Sam donated to the designer clothes for the needy charity drive. Nice way to remind the audience that these girls are all filthy rich. Even if they are not the richest in their school, they confirm the same old sweater that Sam donated and conclude her family must have gone broke. Later that day, they see Mandy having a yard sale. The girls decide to rub salt in the wound.
I'll give you 50 cents for the bag. Please, you know the exclusive is worth 1,000 times that.
I would like to note, I do not feel bad for Mandy because she is poor, because she is not. She's still going to her school with all her upper middle class to filthy rich classmates. She does not have to worry about her next meal. She has a roof over her head. She just currently does not have boatloads of money to frivolously spend. I was more appalled at Sam, Clover, and Alex's reaction to her perceived newfound poverty. They did not know she was just grounded and had her credit card taken away. By the end of the episode, Mandy is back to getting a limo to school, so selling all her stuff was not needed. She was grounded for like 2 days, and she's back to her spoiled ways. That is enough sympathy for this awful woman. We are going to talk about one of my favourite episodes of Totally Spies called Halloween. Who would have guessed one of my favourite episodes would be a Halloween themed one? How shocking. After Sam tears Mandy's Halloween outfit, she vows revenge and stalks the girls to the house they are babysitting at. To get revenge, she summons ghosts to attack the girls.
Zombies rise and raid them all like terror that they've never seen. Curse these girls on Halloween!
But it does not seem to work, so she decides to get revenge in another way. Whilst they are out trick-or-treating, she sneaks into this stranger's home and dresses like a ghost to scare the girls. And it turns out the summoning did work, and she summoned the zombies, and then she faints, so the girls have to drag her unconscious body around to save her from these ghouls. Apparently, its gated community is built on cursed land, and Mandy has freed them, and they want her to be their ghost queen, and they have turned all the residents of this neighborhood into zombies. I feel like ghosts and zombies are very different, but they work great in this episode. The girls save the day, and Mandy suffers no real consequences for almost dooming the world. This is not the only time supernatural creatures are confirmed in this show. There's also the Martin Mystery crossover episode. There's also aliens in Totally Spies. But let's remember Mandy did almost kill everyone because Sam accidentally tore her costume. To be honest, if it was that easy to rip, maybe you should get a refund. The last season set at Beverly Hills High is season 4 for the girls' senior year. The first episode I want to talk about is Attack of the 50-Foot Mandy. A villain that the spy previously arrested breaks out and tries to mess with Clover while she gets a spa treatment, but he chooses the wrong machine and accidentally enlarges Mandy, which at first she loves because she's able to dominate in volleyball. But then she gets so tall, she no longer fits into buildings. Then she grows half 50 feet tall, so the episode title is inaccurate, but she keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Mandy becomes big enough to step on cars, and when the girls try and figure out what happened to her, the villain comes back and actually hits Clover with his growth ray. So she and Mandy fight it out like Godzilla and Kong. They spend the whole time fighting, arguing about the beauty pageant they both entered in, neither of them really caring about the fact that they are the size of skyscrapers.
Just remember, no matter how much you want to be like me, everyone knows who the most beautiful girl in Beverly Hills is. You think you're getting that tiara? It's already mine.
Then when Alex and Sam defeat the villain and get his gun and reverse the effects, neither of them notice they are the size of baby mice. And Mandy gets her memory erased again. I'm happy to announce neither of them won the pageant. Also, I have to mention this. The security guards in Whoop were awful, but somehow they just get worse. This guy snuck in a teddy bear into the jail. The guard found it, knowing it shouldn't be in there. Did he even check how he got it in there or check the bear before he threw it away? How are they this bad at their job? No wonder so many people escape. The final episode of the girls and Mandy in their high school days that I want to mention is the episode Totally Busted. The episode starts with the girls catching their bad guy and confiscating one of his creations for analysis at Whoop headquarters. Then the girls fly into a flock of birds. Alex drops the creation and it conveniently lands into Mandy's pool where she is hanging out with her lackeys. It turns out the thing Alex dropped into the pool makes them into spy-hating assassins. Each of the girls tries to take out Sam, Clover, and Alex. Lackey 1 breaks into Sam's room but is defeated. Lackey 2 somehow knew Alex would be shopping with her mum and attacked her whilst dressed as a giant pickle, and Mandy tries to take out her number one foe, Clover, with a jackhammer. Somehow, Mandy managed to convert her entire room into a spy hunting headquarters in less than a day. She truly is dedicated when she wants something. The main plot of this episode is that Sam, Clover, and Alex's mothers discover they are spies and forbid them from spying any longer. When Mandy and her friends realize it is too hard to go directly after the girls, they go after their mothers instead. Side note, this is still the worst designed for their mothers. Every time I see it, I am annoyed. The original were better. Okay, moving on. The girls should feel lucky Mandy is not an actual villain. She came way closer to eliminating them and their mothers than most of their actual villains do. Plus, she stays around to make sure the job is done, and if it fails, she attacks them again. Not praising Mandy too much, but I think she found a future career if she truly wanted it. Foreshadowing. I mean, she had a snowmobile with a blade sword. I'm impressed. There are grown adult villains that should be ashamed this 18-year-old is outdoing them. Jerry, being the useless old man he is, comes to the spies' aid, but fails to realize a loud helicopter would cause an avalanche, and that results with the girls being captured. Mandy, the genius villain that she is, after hearing how she and her friends were turned into spy assassins, decides she's going to change spies into spy assassins and get them to kill each other. With the spies fighting each other, Mandy and co break into Woot Prison, freeing the creator of the anti-spy serum. Yet again, due to Jerry's poor security, one of the girls' former foes has escaped and is now out for revenge. Even when Mandy breaks out the original villain of the episode, she still takes the lead, makes a plan to spread serum all around the world to make an army of spy assassins. She literally bullies this old man.
You have to do something with it. Shave it, dye it, like anything. I have a rep to uphold.
Mandy almost gets away with her evil plan, but fortunately, she was defeated at the very last second. Spies went to Malibu, and so did Mandy, but she did not bring her two sidekicks with her. Mandy cannot go too long without some form of backup. So here we meet Mindy, who is Mandy's southern cousin, who is also an awful person. Being a poor excuse of a human being must run in the family. We first meet Mindy in the episode Evil Professor. Mandy was originally meant to go to a school in Aspen, but transferred when she realized she could hang out with Mindy. In the episode, the spies are tricked into stealing some valuable tech, and Mindy and Mandy try and take their really nice dorm room after they are arrested for this theft.
The fashion police finally catch up to you, losers. I got dibs on that super sweet dorm room. No.
But they get cleared of all wrongdoing and they get to keep their dorm room. These two get obsessed with taking the spies' room, since it is the nicest room on campus, as it is a penthouse. So in the episode Virtual Stranger, Mandy and Mindy take a bunch of intentionally misleading photos and thread them around the dorm buildings, leading to everyone hating the spies and trying to attack them. These two are so determined to get that room, they organize a rally with megaphones. There are people outside their penthouse with anti-Sam, Clover, and Alex signs because of what Mandy and Mindy did. Mandy and Mindy finally get into the penthouse when a pipe bursts in their room and they decide to stay with the spies. No one invited them. They just turned up and started redecorating. In the episode Miss Spirit Fingers, Jazz Hands Returns Part 2. That's a really long episode name.
With pink polka dots!
Maybe if you change anything in our place, you're gonna be seeing pink and purple polka dots!
That was the last episode with Mindy in, and hopefully she drowned when Jerry overloaded the hot tub to flush them out. Kidding, but like not. In the season final of season 5, which was the original end to Totally Spies, in a 2-part called Totally Dunzo, Jerry found a cure for evilness, and it all went wrong, blah blah blah, not that important. The important part of this episode is Mandy became the West Coast dorm president. That made her think that she could decide where people park, and she bans the girls from parking near their dorm and tries to make them park really far away. Whilst trying to move the girls' cars, she slips and breaks a nail and has a mental breakdown and decides she's going to be a good person. She gives them their parking spot back, she buys shoes for them, she clears their penthouse apartment after breaking in, of course. Normally if someone has such a violent personality change, I would recommend calling a doctor. This whole time the spies have been fighting an evil robot in this episode, and it ends up kidnapping Mandy when she tries to defend them. Even after being kidnapped, she's still pretty pleasant.
Girls, how kind of you to show up.
Duh! That's what best friends do for best friends, yeah!
Eventually, Mandy realizes they are spies again, and that was her final straw. She declares friends are not meant deep secrets and becomes their enemy again. Then all evil was eradicated for at least 5 years in our time, but only a couple months in theirs, since they are still at university in season 6, and evil has come back somehow. They never explained it. After the disappearance of Mindy, Mandy is done with sidekick and decides to hire someone instead. In season 6, we meet her intern, Trent. As to be expected of Mandy, she is an awful boss. She is just as awful as a boss as she is a person in general, which leads to slowly building resentment from Trent. In the episode Trent Goes Wild, where he goes evil, not his fault. Trent going crazy was not the only villain this season created by Mandy's cruelty. Someone created an entire social media website just to get revenge on her. In the episode The Anti-Social Network, Mandy was very busy in her college year, not studying, but she did launch a doll line in episode Mandy Dollmania that turned out to be evil. The dolls being evil was not her fault. I feel like making a doll of a bad person, them turning out to be evil, is not shocking. She also gets obsessed with spying on the spies for the dean, who does not like the girls in the episode clowning around. Mandy finally gets a penthouse in the episode Solo Spies after Whoop decides to split up the girls, but that success of getting the house is short-lived and Whoop vacuumed her out of the penthouse. That seemed dangerous. She did rightfully own it. I'm pretty sure they can't do that. Mandy's final appearance is in Toti Vassar, where she gets hit in the head on the trip to France and she thinks she is Marie Antoinette. As shown, Mandy is an awful person, and it is well known that villains in Totally Spies universe tend to overreact, but when they go after Mandy, I understand them. I would say Mandy had what was coming to her. As I mentioned before, there is a new season 7 that came out in 2024. It is set several months after season 6. The spies have transferred universities to one in Singapore, which, in case you didn't know, is a different continent from the Mandys University, and Mandy is still there to bother them. Mandy appears in the first episode of the continuation called Frankenpanda. The girls are lounging on the beach when Mandy comes to bother them. She tells them the reason she is there is because her parents have signed her up to do some summer classes. At this point, they are still at their American University, Mandys. After the girls are summoned away for a mission without Mandy noticing, she decides to use their sunblock, and the smell of it somehow undoes the mind wipe from the episode The Evil Coffee Shop Much, so that she remembers her brief time as a spy. In this episode, the spies end up transferring to Whoop World, which is in Singapore, run by Jerry's daughter. He is also still a Whoop higher up. At the very end of the episode, somehow Mandy gets a hold of Jerry's number. I feel like that should be classified, but oh well. She demands to be a spy again so that she can get out of summer camp. I don't get how all it took was a familiar smell to remind her she was a Whoop agent, but being kidnapped by an anti-Whoop robot and stored with other Whoop agents, including Jerry, did not jog her memory. They also made Jerry dab in this episode in 2024. She makes her arrival to Singapore known to the girls at the end of the episode It Takes a Slog, where she tells them she's there because she saw Clover's vlog and wanted to bring some fashion fun to Singapore.
It was to everyone except Mandy. Guess she didn't get that memo because she's right here.
Mandy appears way less in this than she does in the original run of the show. In the 2024 version, she appears every once in a while. Her next major appearance is in the episode Totally Vintage, where her toaster starts acting up when she uses it.
Fine, I'll make it myself. Huh?
And it turns out Mandy's not the only person's appliance that is not working properly. All around the world, people think they're acting strange, so the spies are sent to investigate Mandy's toaster, and Mandy continues the charade of pretending she doesn't know that they are spies.
I can't believe we have to spy on her. Clover, you'll blow our cover. Cover? What cover?
She has also become a popular game critic for some reason. We learn this in the episode Totally Trolling Much, and she gives Sam's video game a low review, and they also use Mandy's cruelness to snap them out of a hypnotic state. In the episode, they were hypnotized to hate each other, and Mandy's hatred towards them makes them snap out of it and start to defend one another. Also, Mandy's lackeys from high school reunite with her in the episode Almost Totally Nasty. So far, she has not revealed to them she knows they are spies, so we don't know what happened after her and Jerry finished the phone call. In the continuation, they have changed the voice actor, so Mandy's voice is nowhere near as grating and nasally as it normally is, which does make it lose some of its charm. It has grown on me.
Cancelled due to excessive tapping?
Please try again after you learn self-control.
Now that I'm several episodes into the show. There is also a Totally Spies movie that served as an origin story for the girls. I made a full video about it. That is not what this video is about. Within that origin story, we also see Mandy's first interaction with the girls in freshman year. She meets the girls on their first day. When we first see Mandy, we see her getting out of a car and all the boys falling to her feet due to her beauty, and she embarrasses this boy for fun. She walks up to the new kids, Sam, Clover and Alex, and acts very friendly, then offers to buy them a latte. These three are so excited to make a new friend. Then Mandy publicly embarrasses them for no reason by spraying them with cream. I always thought that was a really underwhelming origin story for their hatred. I thought it was going to be Mandy tries to recruit them to be her additional lackeys, they refuse, then she publicly embarrasses them. That would have made more sense. I think they changed their minds about what the law was between Mandy and the spies, because in its earlier seasons, it was always implied that the girls had known Mandy since childhood. Like in the episode Morphing So 1987, it is mentioned that Mandy had braces in the 7th grade by Alex, implying she had known her since they were young, but evidently they have changed that. The final part of Mandys Law I want to talk about is the episode Future Shock, which is another one of my favourite episodes. This episode is from season 4. The spies are in their final year. Clover and Mandy have joined the cheerleading team, which has been a desire of Clover since season 1, so good for her. Mandy falls off of the pyramid and breaks a nail and concludes she has to quit the team until it grows back, and this guy says she joins the Bev High TV station since they will only see her from the waist up. Jerry summons summons the girls and orders them to take inventory. Not like they have anything else to do in their senior year. Again, he does not pay these girls, and they are probably not 18 yet. Since this is the start of the season, this is child labour. Alec picks up this device and presses it. At the start of the episode, we saw this moron drop it, and it was set to July 15th, 2025. They also say it's a Wednesday. It is not Wednesday. I checked. The girls get teleported after Alex touches it. The girls decide to look around, and they go to the nearest shopping centre. Everyone there is dressed weird, and someone's bathing at someone they know.
How can you feel good if you don't look good? Totally! It's what's on the outside that counts!
Then they see a giant floating TV broadcasting Mandy. They then realise they are in the future, and they go to Whoop, but it's shut down. Turns out, after starting on the school TV show, Mandy grew a media empire within a month, and she has been getting bigger and bigger over the last 20 years. As I've said before, Mandy is dedicated to the things she wants. She has so many shows, such as The World Revolves Around Mandy, Good Morning Mandy, Live with Mandy, Judge Mandy, Mandy 90210, and Gone with Mandy, just to name a few. The girls discover Mandy's evil plan to broadcast a hypnotizing show across the world to make herself the #1 celebrity ever. They also meet older them, but that's not too important. They eventually defeat Mandy, but at some point she did learn to fight. Look, anyway, Mandy is defeated. They go back to their own time, and they trick Mandy into regrowing her nail so that she quits the TV show.
Luckily, she'll never get her hands on my super nail enhancing polish.
The reason I reviewed this separate from season 4 is because it shows the possible future that could have been, and I thought that had to be after their college days because this is technically making it after the continuation. This is also one of my favourite episodes, as I mentioned before. Who would have guessed I liked a time travelling episode? That's so crazy. This episode does lead me to a question. In season 5 of Totally Spies, they get rid of Gladys and say they recycled her. But in the 2025 future, she is still there. So what about Mandy's rise to fame made Jerry keep her? It also leads to a lot of questions about the newest season, which is season 7, because Whoop shut down in this episode. So there's no Whoop World, no Toby. What happened to Darylina? Because her dad was frozen. But they clearly were not planning all of this out when they wrote season 4 in 2005. I understand that. So it doesn't really matter. But I feel like my Gladys question is still valid because why is Mandy being famous means they keep Gladys. Here are my overall final thoughts about the character of Mandy from 2001 to the present day. Mandy is an awful person and usually uses money or her looks to get the things that she wants. Unlike a lot of kid TV show antagonists, Mandy does win sometimes over the protagonist. Like when she wins a car and modelling contract in the episode Model Citizen, or in the episode So Stuck in the Middle Ages with You, where she rigs the annual Halloween costume by getting her 2 sidekicks to vote for her and she wins. Usually in these type of shows, the antagonist just takes loss after loss of being publicly humiliated by the hero. But Mandy, she does get even. Sometimes she does suffer due to her proximity to the spies, like in the episode Attack of the 50 for Mandy or Ski Trip, but often she's living her best life. Mandy's character has evolved and de-evolved many times. It is shown she has the capacity for kindness numerous times, but she does not always tend to stick to it, be that due to a mind wipe or other outside factors. By nature, she's a selfish person, which is forged by the fact that her parents rarely say no to her, giving in to her every whim. Even when they do give her some form of punishment for her behaviour, it is not for long. Mandy rarely suffers consequences for her actions, so why would she change and progress as a person if she knows she will always get what she wants, regardless of her cruelty? She terrorizes her high school, but people are still willing to vote for her during contests, be that due to the bribes she gives or due to her beauty. She has made it known how she's disgusted by nerds from the Origin movie, which is in their freshman year, yet the nerds still form a fan club around her. I do think it is concerning how often people worship Mandy. Between her lackeys, the fan club, the TV empire she almost had, I hope she never goes into politics or meets a prince, because then the world would truly be doomed and not even the Spies could save them. I would like to commend Mandy for something. Mandy really does not do anything in halves. If she wants something, she gets it. She wanted to win a spelling bee, she hired 3 different professionals just so that she had a chance of winning. She's known to bribe people to get designer things early just to rub it into people's faces. When she is kind to people, she goes overboard and goes full on stalker mode for these new friendship and this pursuit of kindness. She is one of my favourite antagonists, and I can't wait to see what other awful things she does in the future. That will be all. Tell me your favourite Mandy memories. Goodbye.